How's it going, guys? Let's talk builds. Today we're specifically talking about Beidou and how to build her to be the best both support and DPS that you can have. We're going to go over her abilities, her playstyle, as well as the gear that you want to look for either buying or getting for her in general. Okay, so Beidou is a frontline brawler type DPS. She's not like a hardcore DPS like Dillet might be, but she does do a considerable amount of damage and needs to be the one that's mainly out on the field. We will make some exceptions with this for her support build, but that's generally how it is. When you are wanting to build a team around Beidou, you want to build around both the electric type and buffing up her physical attack. The best ones are either a fire type like Xingling, or a cryo type like either Kaya or Chongyun. Also would be great to, instead of Barbara, have Kiki. I don't have that. Amona also, by the way, works great. I don't have that. This is the best team that I can personally throw together. It goes Sucrose, Xingling, Barbara, and Beidou. Currently the best team that I can throw together to support Beidou. Beidou's abilities are a counter that you can hold, and you can get hit twice to charge it, and the attack you deal out is increased with each hit. Her ultimate is a channel. I have a couple constellations that add this shield bubble. By default, it's just the two serpents spinning around you. This is a channel, so if I swap characters, it remains on them, which is great utility for Beidou. Beidou's ability also has the perfect counter, which I will try and pull off here, which puts it at max stats even if you only take one hit. I did not get hit. You guys go back to your places. Gonna cut to me doing a perfect. That was a perfect combo. It's very hard on the guys with the clubs for me to time it right, but for some reason for the dudes the little spellcaster dudes, it's a lot easier. Ooh, look at that, there's a chest. There's always a chest when I'm recording. But this lets me show off another thing that Beidou can do. So another way to get her to do her perfect amount of damage is that you throw out Goba, and you just stand in the fire, and there I am at max charge. Right now with my Beidou build, I'm doing about 8,000 off of the perfect charge, and I have a bonus effect where I am getting an actual damage boost coming out of my tie collar is her level 70 ability called Lightning Storm. When you do a tie collar, that's the counter, and it's at max charge. After coming out of it, your normal and charge attacks will have 15% more damage, and your attack speed for normal and charge attacks will also go up by 15%, which is a great buff to do after coming out of already when it like your biggest hit. I'm just gonna quickly loot all this stuff because nice. Oh, look at all this! Look at all this. All right, her Q ability, or her ultimate, also will chain multiple enemies. You can see while I'm hitting him, the lightning is also dashing over to the little one who I'm not actively hitting. By default, I believe it chains up to 2 enemies. I have a constellation that is making it chain more. If you don't know, also Greatsword users like Beidou, Razor, Noelle, all of them are much better at grabbing material, mining material, than other classes. Oh, look at this little... Go down. Go back down. I'm too tall. No. Go back down. There we go. So yeah, great sword users like her and Noelle. Fantastic at mining. Okay. So we've gone over her abilities, and now we're going to talk about... Oh, I can't go that way. We're going to talk about building her kit. So for this, I'm going to quickly teleport over to Mondstadt And we're going to talk weapons that you should be equipping her with, both free-to-play and pay-to-win. There are really only one free-to-play weapon that you should be equipping Beidou with, and it is the blacksmith weapon. If we come on over here to Wagner, in my opinion, the best greatsword that you can buy is this, the prototype Animus. You can see whenever I check its details, it's both attack percent and base attack, and you have a chance to do an additional 240% of your attack damage in a small AoE when you hit. It's, in my opinion, the best free-to-play greatsword in the game. How you craft that is you have to get prototype greatsword fragments, where there are two places you can get. The first one is in Leeway. There'll be a person with a diamond over their head, like this one here. And she actually sells all of the different prototypes, but she only sells you one. This girl here in Mondstadt only sells the sword prototype, but that's basically what you're looking for. That's what you spend the little sigil things that you get on. The other spot is down here in Dadup Gorge. That is a quick quest where you have to go to these three hill churl camps and light a elemental tower thing. I'm sure you've seen them. You have to light those with a matching element. It drops a barrier here. Once you drop all three barriers, you can go get the chest. Otherwise, the only other way to get them is by fighting the bosses. You can see Lupus here. I can't scroll down in his loot, but you can see the little prototype things. That's the only other way after those first two on how you get the prototypes. Unfortunately, I have yet to get a good one, a drop of those from there, so I just don't have it. And I started building the wrong greatsword. Make sure you guys are not building the white blind. White blind's okay, but it's just not as good. So if you're gonna make one, make sure it's the Animus, not white blind. Another great claymore that people like to use on her is the Bell. Bell scales up your HP percentage, which increases the block of your counter, as well as it increases your attack. Taking damage generates a shield, which absorbs damage up to 20% of your max HP. The shield lasts for 10 seconds or until broken, and can only be triggered once every 45 seconds. While the shield is on you, you get 12% more damage. It's a pretty good weapon. It's from the wishing system, so if you happen to pull one of these from your wishes, consider putting it on your Beidou. But there are better ones. Sacrificial Greatsword is another 4-star one that I consider better. When you hit with your elemental ability, which is your counter, you have a chance to immediately get your elemental ability back, so you can just do another counter. There are plenty of times where you won't have your counter up when you wish you did, and it just sucks. So I think Sacrificial Greatsword just a little bit better. Another one from the cash shop is the Boniest Greatsword. Not the pick. Do not go for this one. I don't think there's a single greatsword user in the game that this is a good pick for. It's energy recharge with critical hits having 60% chance to generate elemental particles, which will give you your ult faster. But it's just not as good as the other offerings. Another one is the Royal Greatsword. This one comes from actually your Stardust. If you don't know how to spend that, you go into the shop, go down to Paimon's Bargain, Star Glitter Exchange, and it's right here for 24 Star Glitter. I bought one because it's the only weapon I have on my Diluc right now. It's an okay weapon if you have the Star Glitter to spare, and you're not just spending it back on wishes. We can see here in the details, it's both attack percent and base attack, which is amazing for a greatsword. And upon damaging an enemy, increase the critical hit rate by 8%. Beidou kind of likes to crit, not as much as other greatsword wielders like Razor, but crit is nice to build on her. Not personally my go-to. Another great one is if you get any of the level 5, the 5 greatswords. Mainly the Wolfsbane and the can't think of the name, but Wolfsbane especially is great if you don't have Dilek. Put it on her until you get Dilek, and then it's his gun. It's his sword, so you know you gotta put it on him. Now let's talk artifacts. I already went into detail on artifacts in a previous video, but for the main thing is she is a frontline DPS. So when you're building artifacts on her, you want things that boost your attack. The Gladiator set by default gives you an 18% damage boost when you have 2 pieces. I would either go for a 4 set of the Gladiator's piece, which you can see if you have a 4 set. If the wielder of this artifact uses a sword, claymore, polearm, or polearm, increase their normal attack damage by 35%. That is crazy. Crazy good. Other than that, if you're not doing the 4, I would still do 2 gladiators, and then come over here to the Midsummer Courtyard and get these, the Thundering Fury. I would get a 2 set of this. This because a 2 set will increase your electro damage bonus by 15%. Honestly, it's a great set to also put on Beidou, but make sure that all the pieces that you can have attack percent on have attack percent. Attack percent first, and then I would do either L-Mill Mastery or Critical Hit as my secondaries. Defense and whatnot, you don't need it. You really do not need defense on a Beidou. Beidou is countering. You're not gonna get hit if you're using her right. So yeah, that is my recommendations for building out your Beidou. I've seen some crazy stuff where people have soloed the wolf boss just Beidou. In my opinion, she's one of the best characters in the game, one of the best 4 stars for sure. And don't sleep on her if you have her. Another great weapon before I leave, because it just slipped my mind, is called Rainmaker. It increases your damage done with Hydro and Electro enemies by like 25% or something crazy like that. It's great, especially if you're pairing her with a Mona. But yeah, that's it for my Beidou guide. If you got any suggestions for a build you'd like to see on her, or maybe a character you'd like to see a build done for, let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, hit that bell, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, all that, you know, all that stuff that people say and you get tired of hearing and probably won't do, you know? See you guys in the next video. Bye.